So I think I'm a big believer on a human skill, which basically on a behavioral skill. So I think the biggest question, the biggest one for me is being curious and asking questions and challenging and shaping. So I think these are the biggest skills. And it sounds like really simple in reality. And this is my, diagnostic tool is showing. We don't have this skill. We don't develop the skill. We don't develop the skill in school. We don't develop in college. And we don't develop it at work.
AI isn't the future. It's now. And whether you're in HR, sales, operations, or leadership, the choices you make today will determine whether you thrive or get left behind.
Welcome to the AI Voice or Victim podcast. We are live at MIT at the AI-Powered Women Conference. And y'all, this is incredible. We have Elena Alikhachkina here with us today, and we are going to talk about the leadership side of AI. We're going to talk all about digital literacy and AI fluency. So Elena, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much, Erica, for the invitation. So excited to be here.
Yes. Tell me a little bit about your background. What has you excited about AI?
So I'm in technology and data for quite a long time, over 25 years. Have a chance to work for really well-known companies, Fortune 500 companies. You name it, Dow Jones, Johnson & Johnson, Denon, T Connectivity. And I have been always a big supporter of how technology can help people. So AI is one of the newest technologies, but I did have the chance to live through early ages of the digital. So this is where I came to the publishing, and publishing was the first industry to be transformed by digital. So I do see a lot of analogies in terms of how we going through AI versus how we have been going through the social changes, like, the social became really big, and or even smartphone.
Amazing. And earlier, before we were recording, you told me, I love this name, Voice or Victim, for the podcast. So tell me, what does that mean for you?
So this is so great, because when I saw the name of your podcast, I said, okay, you know what? This is exactly how we should look into this, right? And I'm not just saying about AI, but in overall, like our technological advancement, right? Because we as humans have a choice to be the voice or to be the victim. Right, and this is actually related to our personal life, or it's related to how we act at work. If we look at our personal life, quite now, many people not even realizing that AI technology making decisions for us for years already. So this did not happen when ChatGPT just came alive, right? So back in my work at Wall Street Journal, we have been personalizing content in 2004. Right, so this is what was not super smart, is how AI can do it, but we already have been forcing leaders to certain type of content, right? So as a person, I'm getting my mortgage, AI makes decision. As a person, I'm doing let's say like a health survey, or even, doing my mammogram, AI is already contributing a lot, right? So the same at work, and I have a choice how I want to, to act on this, right? So like in personal life, if I'm gonna just take health recommendation and do nothing about it, I'm a victim. So if I actually take it and verify it through multiple sources, question it, talk to my doctor, supplement the human insight, so then I'm actually becoming a voice, right? So the same in person, at work. For example, many people saying, oh, AI is making hiring decisions, right? Which is so true, because AI tools are now really popular in hiring systems. And as a person, we all have a choice how we're going to act on it, right? So because we can just say, like, I have nothing to do, submitted my CV, and I'm going to be ruled out by system, right? So in this case, I'm a victim. So but I can be a voice if I spend time to understand the requirements, to put my resume in the context so I can understand me better, right? And on opposite side, if I'm a recruiter who blindly trusts an AI system to rule out candidates, I'm actually the victim. Because I'm a victim, right? But if I'm a recruiter who actually question how AI is scrolling, the candidates, what could be true, what cannot be true, how I can put diverse candidates, for example, into mix. And so then, as a recruiter, I'm becoming the voice, right? So this is why I like your your name.
Yes, I love it. No, and I love that example too, because my background is in HR.
Yep.
And I've been telling people AI has been in that HR space for so long because we all use an applicant tracking system.
Exactly.
And all of those applicant tracking system filters the best applicants to the top.
Yep.
And in human nature, we're only going to look at the first 10. We're going to phone screen them. They're going to get the interviews, right? Often those first 10 are usually like these white male dudes who are all right there. If you want to hire diverse talent, you got to go a little bit deeper.
Yes.
And so that's how you either choose to be the voice or the victim of it. But what I want to ask you is when we think about digital fluency,
Yes.
I want to know from your perspective, what does it mean to be digitally fluent in today's world? And what are some of the misconceptions that leaders have about that?
Yes, absolutely fantastic question, because you can hear different terminology on the market, especially one of the most popular became as we talk about AI literacy or data literacy or digital literacy, right? And it's a great step for people to start understanding like what is available, right? So for me, literacy is more like a passive way of acting, accepting, learning about the tools, using them. Fluency comes into ability to really question, to lead with the tools, to guide them, to guide ethically, to contribute, right? So fluency for me is really different. It's actually being able not just accept what is happening, but contribute, lead, engage, question, and basically shape. Right. So these are the biggest opportunity, to be honest, because, I have been, as I said, in the space of digital transformation quite a lot. And I always see like a three distinct opportunities. Right. So doesn't matter what technology is it, and especially with AI. So one distinct opportunity is it's contributing. I call it like a vertical success. Right. So basically how we can put technology to advance HR, to advance finance, to advance supply chain, marketing, right? So this is like a vertical integration of technology, right? Like if you like fluent, right? So like you need to be fluent, right? So the key point is actually you as a leader integrating this technology in the context of your business function, in the context of your process, right? In the context of the value creation you would love, to put in place, right? And able to influence it and able to lead with it, right? So the second big opportunity which I'm seeing is infrastructure, right? So we did talk yesterday a little bit. It was a really good presentation about the data, right? And I know we have a different audience here, somebody more advanced, somebody less advanced, and presentation was able to cover the basics, right? But if we go into like really deep infrastructure questions, I think the previous person was talking about security, right? So information security, data. So these are fundamentals of infrastructure. And we have really lower fluency to understand how these are going to be shaping the future in technology and AI, right? So we need to put like way more effort, right? And now we come to human side, right? So because when to human side, unfortunately, so all these transformations, we always started from technology. We never started from the people, right? So I'm a big believer that you need to start from people. You need to understand where each person is in personal life or in a job function. And there is a unique way, there is a custom way to bring this person to the fluency, because we are all, unique in terms of how we understand information, how we process it, behavioral side. So I'm a big believer when I talk about the leadership and fluency in the behavioral side. So behavioral side for me is, do we have a right mindset? So do we have skills? And again, skills doesn't mean like a technical skill. The skill is to able to learn, to question, right? So can we articulate what we learn? Can we question the information? And then finally, can we lead, right? So I basically came, with own framework, which I'm digitizing now, and I'm testing already with some communities. So to help people to understand like where I am, like where I am behaviorally and what type of actions I can take to bring myself or to bring my team to the future.
Well, I love that you talk about the mindset as that very first step, because it really is this belief of,
Yep.
can I even do something like this? Now, for people who live in the techie world, who are very AI fluent and very digitally fluent, sure, that's super easy. But this is a technology that's going to impact everyone
Exactly.
everywhere. And so even if you don't consider yourself a technologist or a data person or anything like that, you have to get some level of digital fluency, of AI fluency. I wish they had a high school course that was just like Digital Fluency 101. I would sign up for it, you know? But I want to hear from you, this next generation of leaders that are coming up. What is it that they really need to think about with AI literacy, data fluency, so that they can continue to bring up people in having the right mindset? Like, what do they need to be focused on?
So let's start from mindset, really, because mindset is ability of the leader to stop and reflect on what is happening, right? And help people to have this reflection moment. And sometimes it's actually the silence moment. Like we need to kind of stop and hear what is happening and understand like what is happening, how it's related to me, right? And get this through examples, right? So like one example, when I'm using in conversation, let's say I had a lunch with a sales leader who is leading a really big national team, like 150 people, right? And the guy is like super excited about using AI. We're going to bring the agents, right? To give him a little bit thinking, right? So, I asked him is, how you going to be manage your digital employees? And you can see his face. He was like, what do you mean? I was like, you're talking about that you're going to have 100 agents. They're going to be your digital employees, right? So if they're going to start making decisions, who is accountable for decisions, right? So this is the stop moment, right? So people need to stop and think about like entire ecosystem, right? So not just as like, I'm excited to push this agent to work, right? But what does it mean between interactions, my physical employee and digital employee? So how I'm going to be looking at the performance of the digital versus non-digital, right? So is it now the chief information officer becoming chief HR or chief HR becoming chief information, right? So there is a lot of questions where we have to, to think about the mindset, right? Also, mindset is being open to be challenged, right? So, this sales leader, for him, this was like aha moment, right? And it was uncomfortable moment, right? But he actually took this moment. He was like, you know what? Now I need to go and really think about it, right? So I think the good leadership, especially like people like myself in digital roles, we have to create as many moments as we can and relevant to each person, right? So relevant to the salesperson or relevant to somebody like a customer in a bank who actually taking the loan, right? So mindset is a step number one.
I love this idea of, and we talk about it a lot on the podcast, the aha moments.
Yes.
And we talk about making it safe, make it personal, make it fun. And so what I find myself doing is whenever I'm in different communities of women, like I'm a cheer mom, I have a 7-year-old daughter. So when I'm at cheer practice, sitting with all the moms, it's a very diverse group of women. I'm like, what are you using AI for? Which chat tool are you using? And number one, it's interesting to me because I do live in the AI bubble where everybody here is into AI. And so I assume everyone else is too. And then I get there and they're doing nothing with it. They don't have it on their phone. And of course, I'm flabbergasted by this. But we get them involved. We get them to download it. I even have one woman, and what she does is she puts the shiplap all over walls. She's that kind of woodworker. And she had no idea that this was something that she could use as a tool as a solopreneur. And she's now able to provide mock-ups for her customers in seconds. Before, when she was drawing and designing or having to invest thousands of dollars in digital tools to help her do that. And now as a solopreneur, she can do it.
Yeah.
And so I think getting people to find that aha moment when it comes to AI that is very personal to them is so key.
Absolutely, 100%, right? So this is starting mindset. You find what aha moments is, right? But now you also mentioned you actually moving into engage, right? So engage, and this is where helping people to understand how to engage ethically, what you should be sharing, what you should not be sharing, right? Also interesting that you mentioned that you have people who don't have ChatGPT installed on their phone or something, right? But the same people, they need to understand that it doesn't matter they install it or not install it. AI is already influencing every decision on their life. So they take a mortgage, AI is influencing. Submitting resume, AI is influencing. Watching Netflix, AI is influencing, right? So they, in this case, if they don't take opportunity to learn, they are victims. So they are basically, AI is pushed on them, right? And they just accept whatever is happening, right? So what I'm saying is like in active engagement, being fluent means that you understand what's behind. You questioning what's behind. You ask this question, your mortgage agent, like why this type of decision was made, what is behind, right? And yes, try to use the tools as well.
And then, of course, the continuous learning. I mean, this is
Yes.
something that is so rapidly growing, changing, and evolving. Sometimes it annoys me,
Yeah.
honestly, because I feel like the second I've got this mastered, a new version comes out, and I'm like, oh man, again?
Yes.
So, what are maybe your tips for staying on top of AI fluency at the pace because everything's so rapid?
Yes, great question. And so I don't believe the new version or the new model is going to make the difference.
Okay.
So the difference is happening in our behaviors. The difference is happening in our knowledge, in our ability, to question, to act. This is where the difference can happen, right? So maybe I'll give our audience a little bit technical example, right? But it's going to be really relevant, right? So if we think about the biggest change which we all have been living through, this is where social came, where smartphones came, right? So when the cloud came, so who benefited from all of this, right? And you can think about as like, oh, you know what? The cloud providers got the most benefits, right? Amazon got the benefits, Microsoft got the benefits. Of course they did. But the most benefits got actually companies like Uber, because they were able to use the cheap cloud to create the new models. So now is the models are becoming cheaper and cheaper. So every month, there are about 200 new models launched globally, 200 different models launched globally.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So again, these models not going to make any difference. There is, if there is Uber 2.0. No, I mean, I'm really serious, right? And actually, I wrote a post recently on LinkedIn about Uber 2.0
Okay.
because everybody excited saying like how much valuation got somebody who exited OpenAI, and now they got 2 billion, 5 billion, whatever, right? I'm not so much excited about this. I mean, it's great. They are creating infrastructure, but I would love to see Uber 2.0. And this is the moment for the companies, for the people who have the knowledge to step up and start creating this Uber 2.0, right? And I'm already seeing this, right? So I did have quite a lot of conversation with investors, with private equity, venture capital. They are looking at companies and businesses who really well understand like business process. Right. And if, for example, let's say HR business process is already outsourced, which means it's really well documented. So this type of companies are number one for agentic. And they can do this really quickly, right? So it's not about the model. It's about your participation. It's about your knowledge. So this is why I'm so big on the human side of AI, because of this example of the Uber.
Yeah, it's out there. Yeah.
Right, it's on one, right? So, but now we don't see yet this new, Uber companies, and hopefully Uber not
Yeah,
going to
who
be
knows what
upset.
it's gonna be.
I'm saying this, right? No, but this means that it's use the power of new technology to create the benefits in a different way.
Yeah, incredible. So, what is one future skill that you think leaders aren't paying enough attention to right now, but they need to?
So I think I'm a big believer on a human skill, which basically on a behavioral skill. So I think the biggest question, the biggest one for me is being curious and asking questions and challenging and shaping. So I think these are the biggest skills. And it sounds like really simple, in reality, and this is my, diagnostic tool is showing, we don't have this skill. We don't develop the skill. We don't develop the skill in school. We don't develop in college, and we don't develop it at work, right? So there are old leadership frameworks which exist for, like 20, 35, whatever years, right? But these leadership frameworks do not talk about human relations to technology, right? In human relations to technology, there are new dimensions we need to think about.
The curiosity thing, it's what really I like to harp in on, because we don't. Nobody asks questions. We tend to blindly trust.
Yeah.
And just assume that everyone else has the right ethical, decision-making skills behind it, and then they don't. And then we find ourselves in this huge pickle. How do you think that we can encourage people to start asking more questions?
So I think we need to understand where each person is. Right. So this is what I'm personally focusing on, is to help the people to understand where you are in your mindset, in your skill set, in your language, in your leadership, where you are. Right. So if we understand where you are, we can almost like prescribe you like what you need to do, how you can sharpen your question asking, how you can sharpen in terms of your skills or like engagement with the tools. Right. So I'm a big believer in personalized approach, right? So, and 70% of this is not technical approach. It's really like a behavioral approach, right? So taking people through the behavioral changes.
And we also have to know what questions to ask. And
Yes.
I think that's where people get stumped, is they don't know what to ask. So instead they just ask nothing. And I always encourage people like, hey, if you're stuck, go to AI and ask, what are some ways that I can get more curious? And it always makes me think about that leader that asks the why question like 6 times. And you're like, oh my gosh, already?
Yes.
But digging down deep to understand all of that, to get to the mindset, that's really getting at the root of the problem. And if I'm correct, that's what I'm hearing you say, is we really need to go all the way into the core
Exactly.
before we can go out.
Exactly. We need to understand again where each person is, where each team is, right? Something interesting, like what like my diagnostic is showing, like, for example, you can see sometimes overconfidence, right? So the teams might say is like, oh, we know, we have a tool, whatever it is, right? But overconfidence is also dangerous, because which means that we, as you said, blindly trusting, we're not asking, not asking the questions, right? Also to understand is, there are well-known aspects of what are dysfunctions, like a digital dysfunctions,
Yes.
right? So, for example, one of the core dysfunction is trust, right? And if we think about the old way, how we have been looking at leadership, the trust is like between people, right? So if there is no trust in a team, then this team is actually highly dysfunctional, right? But now we are technology, right? So this is now becoming person to person, person to technology, technology to technology, right? So now we have more complex system, right? And behaviorals are now becoming way more complex. So we need to look at all of this kind of sides, right? So how we trust the system, how we trust each other in this new reality.
Oh, it all comes down to trust. I love it. Elena, thank you so much for joining us. This is the AI Voice or Victim podcast. Y'all, we are live at the AI Powered Women Conference here at MIT. Elena, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Erika. Thank you all.
Thanks for joining us on AI, Voice or Victim. If you want to stay competitive in the AI age, start now. Take one insight from today's episode and put it into practice in the next 24 hours. Make sure to follow us, share your thoughts, and subscribe for more actionable AI insights. See you next time.